Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have for today, Aries, is the Ace of Swords. And it's in the reverse for you. Now, Swords is the air suit. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius are the archetypal air elements. Ace is our ideas, potentials. And this is in the reverse for you. Now, the Swords who deals with communication ideas, knowing the right timing, when to say, when to write, what to say, what to write, all of those communication, processing, documenting, all of those things come under the Ace of Swords, new ideas. But it being in the reverse for you, I feel that this is a moment of pause, like the universe wants you to pause for a bit. Small delays, and these are for your benefit. So it's, rather than getting frustrated, I feel you probably need to kind of understand why the pause is here. And this pause is going to be in different situations for each one of you. So there is something which is still not fully there yet. If it's an idea, then you probably need to hold off on talking about it, because there are some things that you probably are missing. Now, if this is in corporate and you're trying to create something, or write a document, or write an email, or pitch an idea, then again, this is a pause, because there is something which is missing in that idea or plan. So revisit your plans, revisit your messages, revisit the text, emails, and see what exactly needs to be said. Like, is it the right thing you're saying? Is it the right way that you're saying? The body language, is it the right thing that you understood? Because something might backfire if you urgently or impulsively say it or write it or do it, because things are still in the works for you. So if it's in regards to signing any documents, then you need to, again, take a pause and, review the document. So take a relook at it, or take a review things again, or take a restock of things, So the reverse energy is dealing because something which is already there needs to be relooked at. If it's like an idea, then you need to revisit it and see, like, is it possible? If it's finances, you need to see how can you better it with what you have, rather than investing in newer ways. You need to restructure what's already there. So it's just you need to make things more clearer. You need to be more clearer, because things are still in the works and there is lack of clarity. There is lack of structure in your words. So those things need to be worked on. And because Mars is moving into your third house of Gemini, you will feel the impulse to say things, even though you don't have data for it, or you have not composed yourself, or you're not considering all the points, you've not factored in all the things. So it's better, like, instead of just saying what comes to your mouth, we need to just restructure it, compose it, revisit and say what we're doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and see, like, is it truly what we're feeling? Is it truly what we really want? Or is it just out of anger, or out of frustrations, or out of a habit that we are seeing in do things? So a revisiting of what you say, do, what you write, how you think, how you process things is all required at this point in time. Now, if this is in preparation for an exam, it means you need a little bit more revision. You need to revise things more, and you're not fully quite there yet. If this is some kind of a miscommunication, because lack of clarity can cause discords and miscommunications and misinterpretation and misunderstandings. So having that right conversation, and understanding that some things aren't right, something has not been communicated correctly, is something that you will need to pay attention to. So this is a little bit tricky for the Aries energy that are used to fast movement and speed. Here, this is more like think before you say, retrospective energy. And it might feel uncomfortable to you to go over all the documents, to rewrite, to reread, to revisit and review things. It might feel like a waste of time, but that's what's called for at this point. And if this is about selecting which job, maybe you have multiple offers and you want to select, then I feel that you need to get more clarity because you might not have all the information that you need to make the decisions or choices. Now, those of you that are, in the media and things like that, this is a good chance for you to fine-tune your media presentations, or even if you're a talker on stage or, giving presentations for corporate and things like that, it's a moment of fine-tuning because Jupiter is going to be entering your 5th house of creativity, so there is going to be growth and expansion, so you need to just sharpen your skills and fine-tune and refine things a little bit for your social media or your media careers. And whatever you do out there, if it's sales and all of those will undergo expansion. But first you need to fine-tune. If it's a product that you sell, then you need to fine-tune the product or fine-tune the way you sell the product and the perks and the prices or something like that. Because Jupiter entry is going to expand and grow and bring a lot of forward movement. But yeah, things need to be revised and updated for that expansion to happen. The next card you have, Aries, is number 9, and it says Salmon. Now, looking at the picture, there is this lady in white that is diving, swimming in the same water as the salmon. There's hazelnuts. Salmon is like, salmon is an energy that is revered for its, wisdom. It's an old soul. Salmon is an old soul, and there's a lot of wisdom which is attached to this energy. And also because it's swimming in the waters, which means there is a lot of intuitive and emotional undercurrent to this asphalt. And the planet Jupiter, which is, of growth and expansion, is entering into your 5th house of creativity. So Salmon, I feel for you, Aries, this is about your inner knowing, your wisdom, what you have already lived through, your lived experience, the decisions, the ideas and things that you make based on what you have already lived in your life. We cannot live anybody else's life. We cannot have those experiences that other people have had. We cannot gain the understanding that other people have. We cannot have that wisdom that other people have. This is something which is personal to each one of us. And I feel that, Aries is a very intuitive sign. Like you are the cardinal fire, but fire signs are very intuitive, even though they are considered less intuitive than the water signs. But, you may have some water placements, but still the fire signs are considered as quite intuitive. And I feel that's what's required out of you, is to make the decisions, the judgments, based on your inner knowing. Maybe there is some, similar experiences that you have had in the past, and you learned, you took away something or two, you learned something from those experiences, and now it's time to use those experiences. What did you learn from those experiences? And then make those decisions. So a lot of ancient wisdom is coming through. So some of you might be taking to some ancient wisdom practices, or you're just an old soul who knows a lot, who has the deep inner wisdom, the inner knowing, that people can actually take advice from. You could be the elder, you could be the one, you could be a leader in company, who knows a lot of the inner plumbing, the inner functioning of the system of the company. That's what this energy is about, like knowing the inner details and even though people might be saying a lot of things, but if it doesn't sit well with you, if it is not something which aligns with what you have experienced, then I feel that you're going to listen to your own lived experience in regards to situations. Like, for example, at your workplace, if there is somebody comes and tells you that, oh, you know what, this, the company, for example, if you have a vendor and somebody says, oh, this vendor is so good, and they have all these products and you should take it from them. But then, you have worked with that vendor about maybe 10 years back or something like that, maybe in another company, and you're like, no, you know what, this vendor, the products are, the pricing is good on the products, but in the products, they don't use that, they don't use that part, which accelerates or something like that, what kind of products they are, not something that would suit your company. Something like that, something so technical and something so deep, that nobody else knows because they've not really gone to the depth of it, right? So it's that kind of an experience. It's that kind of energy for you. So a lot of gut instincts, like even if you feel that, for example, if you go to a place and, or you order food and you're like, you know what, this food feels like, it might hurt my tummy, because of the spices that there are in, and you choose something else. And maybe somebody else who grabs that food gets, doesn't feel so good after having it or something like that, and that's not a really great, what do you call, an example, but you get the picture, you get what I'm trying to say. So this is like the inner knowing, because you've been there in a certain place or in a certain situations for so long that you know how everything works. And no matter what other people that are fairly new to that area will tell you, you will still go with what you know. Now, for some of you, this can also be, this might also be fifth house energies about creativity. So something that you might be creating is also going to grow, expand with Jupiter energy around in the house of Leo. So if there is something in regards to ancient wisdom that you would like to produce or create, for example, in your house, if there was some kind of, for example, if you want to open a restaurant and then there is a grandma recipe book that you find and you're like, you know what, I was wondering like what kind of menu I should have. And then you look at the cookbook from grandma and you're like, every item which is on this grandma's cookbook is going to be there in that restaurant, just something like that. Or maybe if your family has a business, a family business, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be part of that business. I'm going to kind of package products differently, and add a little modern day touch. But then, the business and the way all manufacturing is going to stay the same. So so a lot of ancestral, maybe ancestral homes or people, or you're searching up about it or learning something about your own lineage, your own forefathers, ancestors. That could be for some of you, but in general, this is like a very good energy for creating some kind of a legacy, which carries forward, right? Maybe this is something, like I just mentioned, a family business of some sort, or skill. Maybe it could be, doesn't have to be a business, it could be a skill. Maybe somebody in your house used to paint, then you want to carry forward that specific kind of paint style, and then you take it forward and you create that legacy for the next generation. So it's a great energy for creating legacies. And the last card for today, Aries, you have is a message from the universe, and it says, together. And there are two people in this picture, hand in hand. Further, it says, I love working together with others and how it makes one's impossible dreams possible. I see there is strength in unity and how much we can accomplish together. Asking for help is not weak, it is powerful. So, yeah, we just saw, like, you're working on some legacy system. So it's maybe you're working with family, your extended family, or maybe this is also something you could be doing in regards to the place where you live, a community, neighborhood. You want to create some kind of legacy that it gets passed down to the next generations, and they also participate in some kind of a club or some kind of an activity. And nothing can be done by alone, right? Unless you have like some form of a self-employed business or something like. Even then, you will need resources. So working together is like coming together with people that have the shared vision, that are able to understand. You're able to delegate, you have that trust in them, and this is how dreams are achieved. So great energy here, Aries, and hope those messages resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Leo. So the first card you have, Leo, for today is the Death card. This is number 13, Major Arcana. Now, this is a very, I would say, colorful energy. The skull is laughing, at least smiling. And then there is spiders, there is bugs, there is snake, of course, butterfly. How could I miss that? Yeah, so this is a major transformation, right? The star is there in the center of the skull. So this is a change for something that are white daisies. It's a beautiful, and there is moon. Yeah, the moon is also like relaxed. So this transformation definitely, this is, with moon, it could be something like in your inner world, the emotions, how you feel and think could be changing. But otherwise, this is like changing the way you do things, right? Death card is like old beliefs, old systems, old structures give way to newer ones, because the older ones are not really benefiting us in any way. And that's how the people evolve. That's how the world evolves, right? This could be in corporate where you're working and your team is going a restructuring, or the products are completely changing, or maybe the building is completely changing. You're moving to a different location. Could be at your home, you're moving to a different location. But this is like a new identity, something that of the old you used to do, the way you used to do it, and what you used to do is changing. For some of you, this could be changing careers. And also, Leo, for you, you're the fifth house energy, right? And Jupiter is entering into your space, which means there is growth, expansion here in the creators area. Creative economy is going to get a real boost, because fifth house energy is of creativity, children, and close, and also your friends and family and all of that comes under the fifth house energy. So there is something which is changing, transforming. It's like a rebirth energy. And snake is like shedding skin. It's going in through the eyes, and coming out from it. So it could be the way you see things is also changing, But yeah, some kind of a cycle, which is, of course, evolving, I would say. And this is a good transformation, because there's stars everywhere, so it's going to be for the better for you. Whether it's like you're rebranding yourself, whether the way you look and show up is changing, or the way you think and feel is changing, or your perception is changing. Could be the way you see things is changing, because the serpent is moving to the eye space, right? Our perception, our eyesight, what we see, how we see it, and what we interpret from it. That could be changing for some of you. But yeah, it's a very soulful card, which means that the changes that you're making are soul felt, or are needed for the growth of the soul. It's a lot of spiritual growth as well for this. This is you that's getting upgraded, right? The next version of you is being born. Ooh. So old ideas and old ways of doing things, old structures have got to go. Now, even in the world today, we are seeing a change in structures. Older management styles are going away. New styles are coming up. Older products are going away. Older fashion sense is going away. Not completely, but yeah, it has transformed. Or the way fast fashion is done is transforming. Or the way, a lot of things, right? A lot of rules, policies, structures are changing. For some of you, this could be your own house that you're remodeling. You have the line, you take down the house and you build it in a new form. Or maybe your office is changing, or maybe your career is changing. It could be anything, and it's very different for each one of you. So a huge change in terms of also the fifth house themes of creativity, media, entertainment, and all that. So some of you could be rebranding yourself or working differently, especially if you're in the media domain. Then things around that might be changing, like the way movies are made, or the way things are, advertised and marketed, or the themes and the songs or something around that could be changing as well. But this is a change that you're consciously making, whether it's in regards to your living scenario, you want to live somewhere else, a different city, different country. That is also possible with this energy. But it definitely is like a change of image, right? People see you indifferently. Yeah, the way I also feel, because this, if you see the Leo for the Leo rising, for the Leo ascendant signs, this is the energy of your first house, of your identity. How people see you or how you show up in the world. Your the way you look, the way you dress, the way you speak, your confidence, your style, everything. This is kind of a new beginning out here. So something has definitely shifted and changed for the better. The next card you have, Leo, is the Alder, the Trailblazer. And this is number 4. And then there are, foxes on the top. And this Alder, walking with the staff. And some small bag in the hand. Such a small nugget. It's a little bit like a fool energy. Taking the, but the fool is like taking risks. Out here, I feel that with the fox present, you've already surveyed the environment, or, you've already picked up things, niches, areas of investment that other people probably have not realized at this point in time. That's what a trailblazer does, right? So traveling alone, so this could be a lone project, a single project that you're starting. For right now, at the beginning, later on, it might turn out into a bigger adventure, a bigger project, a bigger company if you're starting. So I feel that right now you're on your own. You have a new idea, which is a different niche, very different from something it's not been done before. It is a new idea. It's a breakthrough. It's a need. You feel that this kind of a thing is missing from the world or in your environment. And because there are 2 foxes present out here, which means that you have your smarts about it. You've done the research. You've been observing. You're not reckless. So starting a new journey, whether it's in a new project, a new creative endeavor, it could be online, it could be offline. And I feel that there is a forward-moving energy to it. For some of you, you could be moving away from known situations, known companies, known ideas, taking a different path that has not been walked before. And of course, with Jupiter entering into your sign, for those of you where, Leo is your first house, there's a lot of personality changes, doing things differently, looking differently, your hairstyle, wardrobe, whatever that could be for some of you. This is also like an adventure spirit. So you could be going to places where people have not been before, something not exactly like not been before, but it's like, it's not on the major bucket lists for most people, but you figure something out. Or this could be a new a route that you have taken to go somewhere else where not a lot of people take in the day-to-day or in the normal. But there is a boldness to this. And your energy archetype is a bold energy. So it's a good time to experiment, to try out, to create, and lead the path so that other people, it's like create a path for other people, like do something, and if it goes viral, then you have a potential where a lot of people can also try that out, whether for work or just for entertainment or something like that. The only caveat with this energy is the details. Don't overlook the small details, which I feel that you haven't, because Mercury, a fox is a mercurial energy, so that's already playing for you. And Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, which is detail-oriented. So I do feel that you are also paying attention to the details. But this is like, it's a good energy because creating new paths, it is also an enrichment energy, like you're enriching your own self, your life, you're learning things, upskilling. Maybe people around you are not in those areas and you're learning something or upskilling in a way which makes you stand out. For some of you, these could be, your thoughts, your ideas that you have harbored for a long time, but now you have the energy of Jupiter to make it happen for you. Now, this is also an energy of not knowing fully what the outcome would be and still doing it anyways, because you know that the universe got your back, so there is just in the process, and it takes a certain level of boldness. Like, you really don't know what the outcome is going to be, but you're still in it because your heart is hauling at it. Now, some of you could be part of trailblazing missions across the world. Like, space economy is something which is a trailblazing, mission according to me. There could be health sector missions, trailblazing a lot of research breakthroughs happening in the health industry. So some of you could be a part of that as well. This could be you that is exploring land and property in unconventional places. Like, you have that foresight to see that this land will be a powerful place of investment in the next decade or so. For some of you, it could be that as well. Now, for some of you, if you are working and employed in, corporate and offices, you could be leaders, you could be having unique ideas to lead your team, like unique solutions or something which nobody thought before. So some of you could be, thinking completely different to what your team thinks and coming up with unique ideas. And the last card for today, Leo, you have is a message from the universe, and it says, recharge. So further it says, I invite magic into my life always. Every day I grow my connection to this earth. Even if I'm feeling low, I simply step outside and appreciate the natural miracles in this life. Being in nature lifts my spirits and recharges my energy. Yeah, so this connection to nature, some of you could be just, the card has a lot of greens, so you could be living in places, moving to places that have a lot of forest, wilderness, or you could be traveling to places, or you could be just invested in green energy, fields, agricultural, and, a new interest in plants and flowers or something like that, And it sounds so good, like plants, and even if you don't go out there in the jungle or forest or hiking or biking and things like that, if you bring a lot of plants at your home, there are some plants that are air purifiers, there are some plants, and all plants will elevate your energy, just connection to those colors and leaves and just the energy of plants will ground you so much and recharges, even if you're not out there in the nature, in the busy world, it's highly recommended, parts and all of that periodically, but, even bringing plants in your house and greenhouses and all of that also has a high therapeutic effect. So some of you could be participating in that as well. So Leas, those were your messages. Hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Sagittarius. So the first card you have for today, Sagittarius, is the Eight of Pentacles. Now, Eight of Pentacles is the earth energy. It's a minor arcana. And Sagittarius, you are the mutable fire sign. Ninth house archetype ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is right now in your sister fire sign of Leo, but it's training your house. So there is Jupiter boost, energy, growth, expansion available to you as well. If you see, this is like a modern day, workplace. This person is putting her headphones on and not distracting herself with anything outside, right? So it's an immersive experience. She has laptop, she has coffee, and so she's been working on this for quite some time. It looks like she has been in this for quite some time, right? And I feel that and there are 8 pentacles that are floating right above her. So these pentacles feel like they're coming out of the laptop. That's how it feels to me, And in general, the Eight of Pentacles is an is an energy of expertise. Expertise because you've been doing this thing, day in, day out, that becomes second nature to you. You become the most popular, knowledgeable, sought out, experienced, expert person in a field. So for some of you, this is like achieving that level of mastery. And scientifically also, they say like it takes up, I don't know how many, what is the count, I forget, but like 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, those kind of thousands of hours, right? Science says that it takes that time for a person to become a master in their field, to become that kind of knowledge and expert that gets paid, whether it's per hour pay or it's in general pay, but it takes that level of time. So it could be like you've been putting in the work for, how many ever hours, maybe for a few years now. And now you're starting to see the results of your expertise, or you are achieving expertise, which is going to bring you more money and resources in. I also feel that, with the Sagittarian energy, which is 9th house, there is a lot of exploration. So a typical Sagittarius energy would be scattered, like doing 100 things, trying to learn 100 things. But here I feel that you have zoned in on maybe just one or two or something like that, fields, and you're just going deep into it. So you're deep researching, deep practice, day in and day out, and it becoming second nature to you. But the thing is that Mercury is going in retrograde, and that's in your 8th house. 8th house is the energy of finances and shared finances and resources. Partnering up with people. So if you are opening up a company or you're starting up a business which requires other people to collaborate with you, that's something you will need to pay attention to the details, because some things get overlooked, especially when you're working with a group of people. So if you're starting out a business, if it's on your own, also, if there is any legal or paperwork, you need to pay attention to the fees and all of that, because 8th house of shared finances, there could be some glitch coming up, in your paperwork or shared contracts or something like that. So you need to revisit it. Or it could be even your own, like how you make money, the money resources, how you bring in the money and where you invest and all of that. So revisiting those financials, especially, collective finances, whether it's with your at home, your shared finances at home with your family, or shared finances and contracts with, your office or people or in business. So that might need some revisiting. For some of you, this is also about, you creating something out of that expertise. It's like you have mastered a skill. Maybe you took it as a hobby, but now you're ready to monetize on that. So it's a good energy for staying focused, and also, not just focused. It's like the energy that I pick up is very devotional. It's like this person's working on a laptop. So there's like, she has invested her time into all the tools and gadgets that will be needed for her to master that, right? So you might be, fully equipped with tools that allow you to practice and master the craft or the study field, or, it could be anything. You could be into medicine, doctor, you could be a craftsperson, you could be a creator. So whatever this is going to be like a highly valued skill that you're going to put out there. So for some of you, it's time to make that launch, or maybe you're almost ready to make that launch. And whatever you do, whatever you put out in the world, it's going to be appreciated. Now, for some of you, if this is not your energy, which I hope it actually is, because it's a great positive energy to have Sagittarius, this might also be in general the environment around you, where people are upskilling, the company is upskilling, and even in the world, with all the technology and advancement, everybody is expected to upskill, to learn the latest and greatest, so that, you can provide and get newer devices for the world and things like that. So this could be the environment, which is highly competitive and highly expert, and all of people are good with their knowledge and all of that, and they're working hard, they're excelling, they're becoming the masters of their field. And so it could be a competitive environment where you're working in. Now, for some of you, this could be, because it's coins, and I typically relate coins to land investments as well. So for some of you, this could be, you could be architects, you could be contractors of land, or you could have, be interested in making some joint investments in land as well, or in properties or offices or commercial spaces or something like that, Maybe it's with your family is making investments in land and things like that. But I feel that wherever you're investing, this is a market that you already have surveyed, like you have a lot of knowledge and things about how things work, at the ground level. So you've done a lot of research, you've been there, maybe you live around, or it could be any place, but you already know a lot about that place, and that's why you're choosing to invest in it. So it's a very compounding energy. You see the points are stacked. So it's a very compounding energy. For some of you, this could be your financial investments that you're making that in the near future, it might, bring in returns due to compounding, or you're already seeing something like that in the portfolio that you have invested. The next card you have, Sagittarius, is number 7, and it says Oak, the stabilizer. And if you see that there is this person that is standing on a beautiful archway, and there's a lot of acorns out here on top on the archway. And there is a lot of open energy in this. Open to receive from one hand, open to give from the other hand. There is also these beautiful birds out here, for music and song. So I feel that for you, Sagittarius, this is like, you're kind of owning your power, coming into your own. An energy of you have arrived, that's the independence that's coming through this. So I feel that this is more about you creating some kind of a structure. Oak is a solid oak, so some kind of structures or some kind of a routine or some kind of a strong foundation, a sustainable kind of a foundation. Some of you might be creating some businesses or creating, homes or that have stronger foundations. But I also feel that, oak is a very elder-like energy, energy of guidance, an energy where people can look up to you, where they can talk to you, get your advice. Some of you might be into leadership roles as well. Or this could be you investing into foundational things like, your home or assets or your social networks and things like that, things that you are able to sustain, things that that grow over a period of time. So some of you could be invested into those things or systems or processes. But there's also an energy of, foundational roots, like where you come from, ancestors, your family history, tradition, the lineage, the cultural lineage, and all of those stronger foundations, from where we get our values, where we form our values, societal values, the philosophies, all of those things. So for some of you, you could be revisiting that because, Mercury is in retrograde in your 8th house, and that's of shared finances, shared values, a deepening of bonds, deeper bonds and all of that. So for some of you, this could be, revisiting your roots or your ancestral places and all of that. And, you're finding a strong connection, finding that link that, your roots is what makes you strong. The strength and the values that you get. So for some of you, it could be that as well. Now, I'm also getting leadership energy with this. For some of you, you could be stepping into leadership roles, or you could be You could be like, standing up for a cause or some kind of a community, you could be speaking up for them. There are birds out here, that are singing. These are singing birds. For some of you, you could be singers. Some of you, you could be like, participating in singing or choir or some kind of presentation or speeches on the stage. Visibility energy also. Like you might be speaking for a cause, you might be stepping up for a cause, you might be in the entertainment where you're singing and things like that. Now, when it comes to stabilizer energy, stabilizer can be in terms of land. It's like you might be, kind of like, for example, if a lot of, like some time back or a few years back, if you bought some land which was not developed or underdeveloped, that could be stabilizing, like there might be homes come up or neighborhoods come up and a whole ecosystem that has come up in that area. So it's like you have watched a neighborhood or some kind of land maybe that you purchased gone from being a remote land, where hardly there was anything, to being a full ecosystem neighborhood. So for some of you, you could have seen that area has stabilized. Or it could be that, it could be in any area of your life where you're feeling like, okay, a decade or two back, it was so like raw, it was so scattered, and today it feels like that area has stabilized or that zone has stabilized or something like that. Now, for others of you, this could be that the stabilizer. I don't know. Or maybe you're the good person. Maybe people are leaning on you, or a community or company. Some teams are leaning on you for, your the qualities that you bring to the table. It's like holding space for people. Look at this person. The girl, the woman out here. She was holding her hands, like it's kind of a welcoming position, like a hugging position or a holding space for somebody. So maybe you're the one, like, people are able to come and talk to you and, feel good that you're able to say something nice that calms them down. For some of you, it could be that as well. So it's a great energy out here, Sagittarius. I mean, especially if you want to work on building and strengthening and deepening of connections, networks, people, friendships, families, bonds, finances, to create something that goes the distance. It could be a skill that you're trying to pick up that you will be able to use for a long time. Something that will add value, that will compound value, that will get better and better with time for some of you. It could be learning a skill. And the mask card for today, Sagittarius, you have is a message from the universe, and it says, the better it gets. There's a nice cloud out there smiling. There's a rainbow, looks like, at the back, and it says, when things happen that cause me to feel good, I know there are much more good feeling things coming my way. The better it gets, and I keep rising up. So yeah, it's a positive energy of growth, doing this again, the stabilizer energy where you're feeling grounded. Also, you had the Eight of Pentacles where you're, feeling better in the field, in domain in which you are working or creating, and you're starting to see the results. And, after such a long, hard work, because Eight of Pentacles is like almost 6 to 8 years of time, where you have to be patient enough to see the results to show up. And when that starts to happen, the universe is rewarding you. Those pentacles are being rewarded. The universe is seeing your efforts. And now the universe is sending things and situations and opportunities and people your way that will reward you. It's as a reward. For this is the better it gets, and I keep rising up. Yeah, so this is like, on cloud 9 is the kind of energy that I'm picking up. There's a rainbow. So rainbows come after the storm, after a lot of rain, after a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears. The hard work, the struggle that has gone behind it is now, kind of showing you that there are cycles in life, when you're down and low and you're still putting in the work and you're still persistent and you keep going, the universe sees your struggle and sees your efforts and then sends, rewards your way. So Sagittarius, those were your messages and hope they resonated with you. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.